Hello, I'm Ken Fobb. This is NewsNet, Baton Rouge. Grab a tea or coffee as I go over with you headlines and news from our local area and region. Recently, after a full-blown hearing on the matter, 19th Judicial District Court Judge Don Johnson ruled that the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office did nothing wrong in its capacity as the employer at the time of a now former deputy who was involved in a deadly car crash back in April of this year. Former West Baton Rouge Parish Deputy Alberto Casco had an outstanding bench warrant from East Baton Rouge Parish on the night he struck and killed a pedestrian who was walking along Louisiana Highway 1. Despite his outstanding warrant, Casco was not arrested by law enforcement at the scene. Immediately following the accident, there were rumors and accusations that Casco was not arrested, as he should have been on the outstanding warrant, simply because he was a deputy. But Casco was soon thereafter fired by Sheriff Mike Kaz's office because he failed to himself report to his superiors that he had an outstanding warrant for his arrest, as is required by West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office policy. However, at the recent hearing before Judge Johnson, Sheriff Mike Kaz told the judge his department had no knowledge of any warrants that would have led to Casco's arrest at the time of the fatal incident, and that there has been a long-standing problem with the system that's supposed to communicate warrants information from one agency to another. Ultimately, Judge Johnson found and ruled that there is a problem with the communication system as shown by the evidence, and he found that nothing nefarious or improper by the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office appeared to have happened in this case. From the Covington, Louisiana area, a former Louisiana police sergeant was sentenced last week to 4 years in prison for stealing from the evidence room he supervised. District Attorney Warren Montgomery says 46-year-old William Jones Jr. got concurrent 4-year sentences for 1 count of malfeasance in office and 2 counts of theft of a weapon from the evidence room he supervised. Jones had worked for the police department that patrols the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, which is the 24-mile stretch of bridge between St. Tammany Parish and Metairie, Louisiana. Jones was actually convicted by a jury of his peers after his trial in May, but was finally sentenced Thursday of last week. During his trial, William Jones also was accused of stealing cocaine and $6,300 in cash, and he had already been fired 3 years ago after his initial arrest. From Baton Rouge, the track coach and PE teacher of the Cristo Rey School, formerly Redemptorist Catholic High School, tragically drowned on Friday past while he was on vacation in Destin, Florida. Carlos Rodriguez, 36 years old, was initially seen struggling in the Gulf of Mexico around 2 p.m. Witnesses say Rodriguez appeared to have been separated from his wife by a riptide current. Bystanders tried to rescue him but couldn't because they themselves were pulled underwater by the strong current, but were able to survive, according to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. When Rodriguez was finally pulled from the water, he was unconscious, and although he was taken to a Coast Guard station to wait for a medical helicopter, he could not be revived and eventually died. Rodriguez had been working at the Cristo Rey High School for less than a year, and many of his students and colleagues are heartbroken, along with his young family, of course. So please keep them all in your prayers. Finally, this past Father's Day weekend, dozens of families and children attended an annual Father's Day prayer service, which was hosted by the organization known as the Save Baton Rouge Youth Movement. Minister Patricia Gale, its founder and coordinator of the event, says that Save Baton Rouge Youth Movement, a nonprofit, focuses on youth wellness, and the goal for this annual event is to send out special prayers for dads and fathers in the hope that the bonds of families will be strengthened. At this year's event, the group honored some fathers who have left a positive impact on the community. One of the honorees was Dr. Johnny Jones, who is an attorney and a well-known civil rights activist who happens to be 99 years old. He was a prominent civil rights attorney in Louisiana and was a key player in the famous Baton Rouge bus boycott. This year's event was also attended by Baton Rouge's Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome. These have been headlines and news from our local area and region. I'm yours truly, Ken Fobb. I'll see you next time right here on NewsNet, Baton Rouge.